morning, my family. Hey, I'm so honored to have another opportunity to stand before y'all on this right here, this fifth Sunday that we call Passion from the Pews. Pastor Carl named it that, man, and it's been an awesome opportunity for me to share with y'all again. I got a word from God that he ministered to me first. It's something that he's really been dealing with me with, and he turned it over for me to be able to give it to y'all. First, I'd like to give honor to Bishop and Elder Valerie. I just thank God for them being the leaders that they are. I also want to thank Pastor Carl and Lady J for another opportunity to use their platform and their obedience and their due diligence to make sure they are the leaders that they are, that make our church as a family, run together so smoothly. And also give honor to my wife, man, who allowed me to come out here in this beautiful day to be able to share with y'all and leave her at home with all those kids. Baby, I love you. Appreciate you. But I'm gonna start with the scripture that God gave me, y'all, and we're gonna get into this thing. All right. Colossians chapter 3, verse 1 through 2. It says, "Since then you have been raised with Christ, set your hearts on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above and not on earthly things." And also, chapter 12, verse 2 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded with such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." So those two scriptures right there have been ministering to me, y'all. And the reason for it is that as time has gone on and everything that we've all been going through here lately, the past year or so, man, I just been asking a lot of questions, and I'm quite sure a lot of y'all have too. A lot of things I'm trying to figure out, like why certain things going on, why are we in the current state that we're in as a country, as a people, as believers. And God told me, he said, when you start on this journey with me, there are certain things that I have to warn you about. When you make a decision to start to go on this thing we call the walk with God, this thing we call the relationship with God, it's a marathon. There's a journey. The destination and the goal is already set ahead of you. God already knows the plans that he has for you. But one thing he wanted to make sure you understood is the same thing he told me. He said, man, warning, there's going to be distractions ahead. Man, look, distractions are everywhere. And as you can see where we at right now, man, we're out in the middle of Hampton, and that's the town center. It's a busy area, and there's distractions everywhere. Even now while I'm speaking to y'all, man, it's cars going by, people walking by, people talking loud, people having a good time living their lives. No one's concerned about what I have going on at this moment. But at the same time, I have to deliver a message to you guys, and I have to be aware of all my distractions. Distractions come for different reasons, though, All distractions ain't just a person driving by. All distractions aren't just a person yelling your name from across the street, The distractions I'm talking to y'all about today are those distractions that take place during the spiritual warfare. See, you got to understand one thing, and one thing's for sure. We have an enemy, and his whole thing is to make sure he blocks us from whatever it is that God has for us. So that enemy has studied us well, just like we should study our enemy well. This is war. And in war, you got to make sure you know who you're fighting and what you're fighting for. See, the thing about the enemy is, he's not as dumb as people think he is. And I hate to give credit like that. And whoa, before you start thinking I'm saying anything on that note, but on some real smart, we're dealing with a smart enemy. He understands exactly what it is that makes you tick. He understands what scares you. He understands what he can do to block you. He understands what he can do to try to stop you. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours. See, the beautiful thing about the walk with God is this. There's a destination already set in place. It's already out there. God has the time and the place that he has already placed everything that he has for you. The thing is, though, you have to get on the journey. You have to get on that walk with God in order to get there. See, while you're on this journey, there's obstacles and things like that's going to come in your way. And these are the distractions I'm talking about, right? So, you might be saying, hey, bro, Will, what are the purpose of these distractions? Well, like I said before, your enemy knows you. He knows what makes you tick. And so the first way he's gonna come at you, a lot of time, is catering to your fear. See, those distractions that cater to your fear are the things that he knows you're afraid of, so he puts them right in front of you to literally stop you. See, one thing I know for sure, and one thing I can say for certain, is that the enemy cannot block what God has for you, so don't get it twisted. Don't think for a moment that because he's throwing these obstacles in your way, he can stop you from getting where you're going. Nah, the only person that can stop you from going where you're getting, where God has in store for you, is you. That's it. What the devil does, though, is he makes suggestions or he throws things in your way to try to hold up the process. Excuse me. So if you're already on your way and you're already traveling, things seem like they're going so good. You're on this road, right? Y'all take this trip with me, right? You're on the road and God said, just drive. I know where you're going. The destination is already set in place. I know how I'm going to get you there, but I just need you to drive. I need you to follow the GPS, God's positioning system. So as you're traveling, next thing you know, there's a distraction, this accident happens. And one of the biggest fears you may have while you're driving is, I don't ever want to get in a bad car accident. And that's exactly what happened. A car accident that happened to the side of you, and it's so close that you feel like you're going to get caught up in it. And so you just make it through by the grace of God. And you make it through that. Now, where the distraction lies, if you stop to rubberneck, or if you stop because you're held up by whatever traffic, now there's an opportunity for you to say, well, maybe it's getting too late in the day for me to continue to my destination. So now you've literally stopped yourself from going where you were going and said, you know what, I'm gonna turn around and go home. And that's the first type of distraction, man. It's that fear. I can't be out on this road. It's traffic going crazy. It's accidents happen left and right. I don't want to get in an accident. I'm so scared that something's going to happen to me. So instead of me continue to go on in my journey, I'm just going to turn around and go back home where I know it's comfortable, where I know it's safe. But God is saying, in order for me to take you where you got to go, man, I got to get you out of that comfort zone. I got to get you moving. And see, the beautiful thing too about God's plan is he said he knows the plan he has for us, right? And he gives a little hint. He said, I got plans for you to prosper. Plans for a great future for you, things that I want to see happen in your life, right? But he doesn't show you exactly what it is. And it's crazy because you would think, well, God, why not just show me, exactly what you got planned for me? You would think like, well, God, will you just go ahead and tell me, then I know where I'm going and we good. But see, that's the thing about this journey. It's also a trust journey, It's one of those things that you got to have faith in this journey. And so, again, distractions come. First distraction came to cater to your fear. Now you got the distractions that come in and challenge your faith. The challenge your faith distractions are some of the hardest distractions you have to deal with because they literally challenge that thing that your whole trip is based on. Your whole entire journey and marathon with God is based on faith. Because a lot of times you don't know where God is taking you. You don't know. You have an idea. You might have had a dream. It might have been something he showed you in a vision, but at the same time, you don't know exactly how you're going to get there. So your faith is which carries you. This right here, I want to spend a little bit of time on because the challenging your faith one is something I personally have dealt with. Because I believe in God, I got faith in God, but there are things that have happened in my life that has literally made me question God. And I'm quite sure y'all can identify with me on that. The questions of God, why did you let this happen? God, what was the purpose of this happening? Where were you, God, when this was going on? Why did you allow this to happen to me? Those are the things that we have those questions on. And so this is the time when you realize, man, my faith is being challenged. Look at COVID-19, for example. Everything shut down. The whole entire world shut down. People got sick. People were passing. And I'm quite sure a lot of people probably wonder, why is God allowing this to happen? Why is God allowing evil in the world to go on and things of that nature? You got to realize that the way God created us, we are free will beings. He gave us free will. He loves us enough to give us an opportunity to be saved, but he also gave us the free will of whether or not we want to embrace that opportunity. See, what people fail to realize that even way back in Sodom and Gomorrah, when they were doing what they were doing, God still gave them an opportunity to turn their hearts to him, but they chose not to. And see, that challenge of your faith is the one thing that literally can not only make you get off course of what God is telling you to do, but you won't even go back home. Sometimes that distraction of that challenging of your faith will literally get you to turn way back and go back to a place where you know you don't belong. into a place where you are literally separated. You have separated yourself from God and what it is that God is trying to do. And that right there is the dangerous grounds. I feel like that challenge of your faith is something that if you can make it through that, then you literally are even closer to your journey. But that challenge of your faith, man, that's the thing right there that I feel like the enemy knows. Look, if I can get them off of their faith, if I can just get you out of your faith, then I can get you exactly where I want you at. I can get you over into that reprobate mind that the word talks about, that you don't want to be in that area. If I can literally put something in place to disrupt the way you believe in God and you believe that God is going to bring you through, if I can hit you with sickness, if I can hit you with financial lack, if I can hit you with the loss of a loved one, if I can hit you with the loss of some kind of material thing, a car, a house, or anything like that, if I can throw that distraction at you right there, I can literally challenge your faith and pull you away from that thing that you hold so dear to, which is your faith. And at the end of the day, that's the one thing I feel like more than anything that we must be on guard with. We got to be prepared for that challenge, because that challenge is coming. And what God is telling us, in order for us to be able to strengthen ourselves, we got to continue to renew our mind and continue to get into his word and continue to trust what God is telling us in his word. That on this journey that we're going to, I already got the destination in place. I already know how you're going to get there. You got to trust that no matter what happens, no matter what goes on, I got you. Say all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. So the thing you got to realize that even if God says no, a lot of times it's for a better yes. If there's something that you lost, you can get it right back. And a lot of times it's going to be way better than what it was you lost before, regardless of what it is. So don't let the situations like that challenge your faith. Instead, let them increase your faith in God. Let them increase that God already got everything under control. Let it help you understand that the thing that you fear the most, or the thing that is challenging your faith the most, that God is already right there surrounding you, protecting you and keeping you, so that thing won't cause harm to you. So you made it through the distractions that come to cater to your fear. And then you even made it through one of the ones that I find to be the most difficult one, is the one that here to challenge your faith. So now you're focused. You're on your way, right? And you're like, okay, God, I made it through. I got my faith. I believe in you. And nothing has scared me on this road enough for me to turn around. And I'm good. So now I'm focused on the destination you have for me, God. So I see the blip on my GPS that's telling me I'm almost there. I only got a few more turns, a few more exits to get there, right? And then the distraction comes to literally change your focus. So one thing that I came to the realization was when I was dealing with my situation, like I said before, I've dealt with some of these same things that I'm talking to you about. My fears have been catered to. My faith has been challenged, and I'm still here today. But that focus thing, man, really ministered to me. God told me in my time of study was, you have to realize that when you're going through this journey, you have to be able to look past what's in front of you to see what's ahead of you. And so that's kind of deep, because I thought about it and I said, man, seeing past what's in front of me to see what's ahead of me, God, I was like, man, if you think about it, Christ had the cross in front of him, but he had our salvation ahead of him. See, if that makes sense, it was what's to come after you get past that obstacle. And best believe, man, those same distractions I talked about, Christ dealt with them too. Because he knew, just imagine this now, Christ knew what was in store in order for us to be saved. He knew that coming here, he would have to die. And he knew the death that he would have to die would not be one in his sleep, but it would have to be a gruesome one. He knew that he would have to be beaten with many stripes and lashes. He knew he had to have a crown of thorns placed on his head. He knew he had to be hung up and stretched wide for our salvation, that his blood would have to be shed for our salvation. And yet and still, knowing this, walking 33 years knowing that I'm only walking towards the cross, he still made it to the cross. Even when praying in the garden, 3 times he asked if the cup can be passed from him, let it pass. But God said, this is what you are here for. This is what you are here to do. And he did not let the distractions keep him from that cross. Why? Because he knew that if he can get past what was in front of him, then our salvation would be ahead of him. And that's the thing I'm telling y'all today. That's the thing I want to leave y'all with today. Look past what's in front of you. Look past the bank account. Look past the loss of the loved one. Look past the loss of the wife that said they'd never leave. Look past the husband that said he'd never leave. Look past the boyfriend or girlfriend. Look past the children that's acting up. Look past the church hurt, as Bishop been preaching on. Look past those things that have come in here to try to block you, the obstacle that's trying to stand right in front of you, and look ahead and see that God has a greater plan for you. See, that's the biggest thing right there we struggle with, right? It be the things that's right there in front of you that keeps you from even moving forward or moving beyond what it is that God has for you. That is literally the last point of distraction. Because if I know I can put some roadblock in the way, if I can put up a construction site, you're on your way, you're almost there, you get into the last exit and you turn on that last exit, and the next thing you know, here's a roadblock. And there's a dude standing in the middle of the street with a stop sign. And now that guy might just be that distraction is there, you know? It might be the loss of something. It might be the loss of a house, or you might lose your job or something like that in that nature. You're like, man, I was almost there, and then turn around and get laid off. Or I was almost there and turn around and this unexpected bill came up and wiped my bank account out. Or I was almost there and my wife of 20-something years decided to up and leave. And you get to that place and it's like, man, do I have the patience to sit here and go and endure this moment of stopping, this block that's in front of me? Do I have the patience to do that? Because I know on the other side of that is what God promised me. Or am I going to go ahead and take a detour and just go back home and give up now? And that is right there is the thing that I want to leave y'all with. Look, everything's coming to distract us, man. Everything we see in the news, everything is around us. You know what? But God is saying, look, keep your focus. Keep your eyes on me. Like the scriptures say, keep your eyes on the things heavenly and not the things of this earth, because this stuff is going to always be going on. But God has something for each and every one of us. And yeah, you might not have seen it yet, and it might be years you've been driving on this road, but one thing for sure, people behind me, they all got somewhere they're going, right? They all got a destination they're trying to head to. And the thing is, they're going to drive that road, whether traffic stops now, slows up, or whatever. Determining how bad they want to get to where they're going is if they're going to keep on driving or not. And that's what I'm telling y'all. Stay in the car with God. Keep pushing. Keep driving. Don't let the fear stop you. Don't let the things that come to challenge your faith stop you. And don't let the things that come to change your focus stop you. Stay focused. Laser focused. Lock in. Now is the time more than ever to be focused and locked in. See, there's a reason why I feel like everything shut down is because everything was going so much, but God gave us a time to sit down and actually focus. The doors of a lot of buildings were closed so we can time to focus. And now that things opening back up, the question is, are we going to stay locked in and focused? Are you still going to be praying like you were when things were shut down? Are you still going to be reading your word and spending time with God when things were shut down? Or are you going back to all the distractions? It's a dangerous game we playing out here. Real warfare is going on in the spirit. And we got to be able to see it. We got to be able to have our eyes open to see it. We got to be able to understand when distractions are coming. And you got to be able to know how to be able to deal with them when they come. But just know, when you made it through that catering of your fear, when you made it through the challenge in your faith, and when you made it through that thing that's trying to change your focus, God's glory is waiting for you on the other side. And if you can make it there, the rest of it is a breeze. I can promise you that. Well, look, man, I appreciate y'all listening in. I appreciate y'all spending this time with me. And I just pray that the word that God gave me is a blessing to you as it blessed me.
Hey, y'all, look, what an amazing word. Now, look, y'all know that there will never be a day that we adjourn without declaring this benediction. And now unto him who has been able to keep us from falling and present us faultless before his presence with exceedingly great joy. To the only wise God be glory and majesty. He calls us blessed in the city. We are blessed in the fields. We are blessed when we come, and we are blessed when we go. In Jesus' name.